A deep financial crisis has crippled the administration in the West Bank, led by President Mahmoud Abbas, prompting questions over its future. The Palestinian Authority's finances have been in disarray for years as donor states have cut back funding. And this even as nations continue to press for a revitalized body to run Gaza after the war. Here's a complete report.
These roads in Jenin refugee camp were torn up by Israeli army bulldozers months ago. But the Palestinian Authority, or PA, can't afford to fix them. A financial crisis has crippled President Mahmoud Abbas's administration in the Israeli-occupied West Bank. It's prompting questions over how it can govern there, let alone run the Gaza Strip too when the war ends, as the United States and other countries want. The strains are visible in Jenin, where Israel has long targeted Palestinian militants and has stepped up operations since October. Mahmoud Abu Talal is a local activist in Abbas's Fatah faction.
A lot of penalties have been imposed on the authority. The authority's situation is like it has fallen off a plane nowadays. I am being straightforward here. The PA is taking a beating, just like the people. And God knows if it will be able to withstand this or what. The coming phase is uncertain.
The salaries and services provided by the PA once helped keep Abbas and his Fatah faction relevant, despite Israeli settlement expansion in the West Bank and the challenge of militant groups like Hamas, and despite the violence that has surged across the West Bank since the Gaza conflict broke out in October, with hundreds of Palestinians killed in clashes with Israeli forces. PA finances have long been in disarray, but officials say this is the worst crisis since the authority was created under interim peace deals 30 years ago. Government employees are being paid a fraction of their salaries. Health services are collapsing. Donor states have cut back funding, demanding reforms to tackle corruption and waste. Israel, whose military controls the West Bank, collects taxes on goods that pass through it into the occupied territory, and it's supposed to hand them over to the PA. But since Hamas attacked southern Israel in October, Israel has withheld a chunk of those tax revenues, to the tune of $1.6 billion, according to Mohammed Abu Rab, a PA spokesperson.
The financial crisis is real and ongoing. Israel deducts around 2/3 of the revenue, and this puts all government plans on hold and increases public debt for the Palestinian public's finances. Israel continues to withhold more than 6 billion shekels from the Palestinian government.
Israel denied it had retained that amount. It says the funds would be sent to Gaza and end up in Hamas's hands. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office did not answer questions for this article. The United States has urged Israel to release the funds. At this government clinic in Jenin, Hayat Hamdan hoped to find subsidised medication for her wheelchair-bound husband. But cuts to PA salaries mean staff at such clinics only show up a couple of days a week, according to unions. And many of the pharmacy shelves are empty.
They told me it is out of stock, just like many other types of medicines. We are from Araba, and there we don't find the medicines for patients. We end up having to buy them at our own expense.
Last year, angry crowds confronted senior Palestinian Authority officials, accusing them of weakness in the face of Israeli military raids, as militant fighters paraded in the streets. The Palestinian Authority last held parliamentary elections 18 years ago, and many Palestinians view it as corrupt. More than 60% of Palestinians want to see it dissolved, according to an opinion poll by the Palestinian Center for Policy and Survey Research in June. It also found that support for armed struggle had risen.